Hey guys, welcome back to Stinger Airsoft. Today we are taking a look at the Krytac Kris Vector. This is by Krytac, and so let's get into the review. So starting off with, this is a really solid gun. It retails for about
500.
550 range, if you add tax or shipping. Yeah, it's a full metal gun with some polymer parts. So polymer stock. I believe
the rail is metal.
Yeah, the rail's metal. This whole part feels like metal. Feels like metal. The trigger and the handguard, that's plastic, and a bunch of it's plastic and polymer, so it's a really sturdy gun. This is a attachment to make it longer.
So I talked a little bit about how I use this gun. I've gotten it used from Hop Up, which to anybody, either beginner or mid-range or even an experienced player, I would definitely recommend Hop Up because it is a very, very good alternative to buying new. You just do have to be careful to make sure you're buying from a reputable seller and a good protection plan. What I really, really loved about this gun that I have not seen in any others is two-shot burst, which is definitely my favorite mode to run it in. It's got the appeal of full auto, but the ammo saving of semi. And although this is typically a CQB gun with a close, tight hold, I don't use it for CQB. I don't play CQB, so I've gotten a barrel extension to give me a wider, more stabilized grip. And it uses SMG mags, which are said to hold about 95 rounds, and those last me very, very well. I've got 3 of them, and they last me almost the whole game every time I use them.
So you put it in right here through the bottom, right there, and here's the slide, which you can pull it back, and that will also access your Hop Up. And it has this dust cover that I really like, so when you pull this back, it opens that to access your Hop Up. Always put your dust cover on in case like dirt and stuff gets in there. It can get into your Hop Up and your internals, and it messes it up, and that's never a good thing. It looks really slim. It has a really slim design. Mm-hmm. Overall, it's a really sturdy gun. I'd recommend this for even intermediate or maybe even professional. And this is a really good body if you would want to drop a DSG or HPA gun, which is like an air tank hose coming out here. This is where your gearbox and your motor is all at, and here, well, this is where your motor's at, and this is where your gearbox is. And the real replica of this gun, when you fire it, it shoots a counterweight into there to help reduce the recoil. It's an Airsoft, so it doesn't do that. And it's not a gas blowback, it's an AEG.
Although one thing I would say as a fair warning to anybody who might get this, the battery is a bit of a weird conundrum. It's a very, very hard to remove battery cover, and it is a very small battery cover, or a battery compartment. So you want to make sure you have a small battery. And along with the battery, I thought I would just go ahead and tell you guys, the maximum, this gun cannot run any battery that is over 1400 milliamp hours or over 11.1 volts. It'll short out, it'll overheat. Don't do it if you get this. But I don't know if I could recommend this to a beginner because of the price range. For a beginner, I would definitely say avoid getting the cheapest gun available, but don't go for the most expensive gun either. I would definitely recommend any brands like Lance or Tactical to anybody who's just starting out for Airsoft.
And when you first get a gun, let the experience tell you what you need instead of buying like an HPA gun. Like I've seen a 9-year-old run an HPA gun, found out he doesn't like Airsoft, so congratulations, you just wasted $3,000. So always get a beginner gun, and then once you find out how you like Airsoft, you can invest in a more expensive gun like this one. So here's where you release the mag, so I can release that here. And next we're going to talk about the safeties and trigger response. So moving on to this it's kind of weird because it has a safety here, and here's where you do the fire control mode. And it's really cool that it's on both sides, so you can flip it and it's on both sides for both of them, the fire control and the safety. So here's safety on and off. You can see it here with the painted red that looks like a bullet. Here you'll see you have semi-automatic, 2-round burst, and fully automatic. So it's really cool that it has 2-round burst, because when you do that and you press the trigger, it shoots 2 rounds every time you do it. So 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, and so on and so forth. And here's semi. The trigger response is really good on this gun. You touch it and it shoots. This, unlike Lancer Tactical, this one has a great trigger response. So you can press that and you can basically spam it. So you touch it there and just...
It's almost like a mouse click trigger.
It's kind of like clicking a mouse. It's just really good trigger response. You have all 2-round, full auto. So that is a really good trigger response. And so it's a really sturdy gun. I would recommend this to intermediate players and, you know, maybe even some professional CQB players. A unique feature about this folding stock is you can press this button right here and you fold it inwards like this. So if you want to compact it into like a concealed case to take it in, or like transport your gun, you can do that. You can also, you know, one-hand it. You know, I'm from Detroit, and you can do that if you want. You can, you know, just do one-handed, however you like. So how you unfold the stock is you lift up on it and pull it back, and you are ready to go. One thing, or a couple things I don't like, is behind the trigger, it's exposed. So you can see the cords that go into the battery. So if you play in the rain, outdoors, this may not be a good gun for you. I've also noticed on the side part where you pull this back, if rain gets in there, if you forget to close it, it can get rain through there. And right here, I just noticed this, some of the gearbox is exposed in this little slit right here. So if rain gets in it, this is not going to be a good gun for you if you play out in the rain, or if you play a lot of places where, you know, like deserts, and you know where...
A lot of dust and small debris.
If you play at an abandoned place or somewhere where there's a lot of dirt, dust, sand, and it gets in your gun, it's not going to, you know, it's not going to be good. So if you play in those type of areas, this may not be the best gun for you. But for CQB, this is a perfect gun, especially if you take this piece off, you hold it there and you shoot it like this. That's going to be a great gun for you.
Although this is meant to be a replica of the real Kris, or the real Vector made by Kris, who owns Krytac. So this is officially licensed by Vector, or by Kris. But this, on the actual gun that this is a replica of, there's a slide release. On this gun, it doesn't do anything. It's there just for show. Just thought I'd point that out because that was something that confused me when I first got this. It has no functionality, just a load clicker. So, anything else?
Well, so without further ado, let's go to the shooting test.
Switching to full.